Now I also wanted to separately cover a few handy new arithmetic operators. I'm covering them separately because the previous ones were ones you were probably already familiar from your math classes, like addition, multiplication, exponentiation. And these couple that I'm going to share now might be a bit newer, and they're more specific to programming languages. So the first one is floor division. In Python, we saw that one slash means just dividing a number as normal, where you get a decimal result. So it's how many times does B go into A if you have A divided by B. Floor division, where you have two slashes, divides two numbers and rounds down to the nearest integer. And so it's answering a slightly different question. It's saying not just how many times does here y fit into x. It says how many times does y completely fit into x with no remainder. So some examples we can see might make this clear. 10 floor divided by 2 is equal to 5. That's actually the same result as if you were just to regular divide 10 by 2, because 2 goes into 10 5 times exactly. But 11 floor divided by 2 is also equal to 5, because 2 goes into 11 5.5 times. But floor division just looks at how many whole times can we put 2 into 11. And so it goes in 5 times, then with a remainder of 1. Finally, just a more complicated example, 175 floor divided by 4 is 43, because 4 goes into 175 43 times. In fact, we can check. 4 times 43 gives us 172. So you can see that after putting 4 into 175 43 times, we get to 172, which means that we have 3 left. And that's not enough to put in 4 another time. So 175 divided by 4 gives us, floor divided by 4 gives us 43. The other operator that goes hand in hand with floor division is modulo. And modulo computes the remainder that's left after doing a floor division. So A mod B is, after putting B into A as many times as possible, how much is left? And so on the right, this animation can help us visualize what's going on. 11 mod 4 means we're going to take these 4 blocks and put them into 11 blocks as many times as possible, completely, and then the remainder is the modulo, the result. So 11 mod 4 is 3 because 4 can go into 11 once, it can go in twice, but it can't go in 3 times because 4 times 3 is 12. And so the maximum number of times we can put 4 into 11 completely is 2. 2 times 4 is 8, and so the remainder is 3. 11 minus 8 is 3. See that 3 are left. Some other examples might help here. So 11 mod 5 is 1, because 5 goes into 11 2 times, so 2 times 5 is 10, and then we have 1 left. 120 mod 100 is 20. Again, 100 can only go into 120 one time, and then what's left is 20. 1 mod 5. So yeah, what happens if you have something smaller? So 5 can't even go into 1 any number of times. 5 is too big. And so we just have 1 itself left. And finally, 24 mod 2 is equal to 0 because 24 is evenly divisible by 2. It's an even number. And so what I just hinted at was that you can use mod to check whether a number is even, or whether it's divisible by 3, or whether it's divisible by any amount that you want to check, which can be handy for lots of different problems. And so you can see here in line 2, we have an is even variable, and the expression on the right is number mod 2 equals 0. So that's saying the remainder after dividing by 2 0. If it is, that means that 2 goes into number completely with no remainder, which is exactly our definition of even. An even number is a number that is completely divisible with no remainder by 2. And this is, by the way, a good example of kind of nested expressions. So our outer expression here is number mod 2 equals 0, and the operands are number mod 2 and 0, and the operator is equal. And so to be able to evaluate the equality, we have to evaluate the leftmost operand, which is number mod 2, which itself is an expression, which is the modulus expression. And I'll point out that these two kind of arithmetic operators go hand in hand. Using modulo and floor division, you can break any number down into an integer product and a sum. And so for any number divisor, floor dividing that number by the divisor tells you how many times does the divisor, in this case 2, fit into the number 13. So here, the floor division number floor divided by divisor will give us 6. And then what's left over, so the remainder is going to be 1, number mod divisor. And so we can always build back up our original number by multiplying the floor division by the divisor. So 2 went into 13 6 times, so 2 times 6 is 12, and then add the remainder 1, which gives us back our 13. That's it for today, and I will see you all in class. Please bring your questions.